to welcome you on Google Hangout. I remember way back, I think not many years back, if I may say so, about 14 years back, if I had a car claim, then I would have to intimate to my policy issuing office, and the survey would be deputed from there. After the survey has been conducted, which would be a series of negotiations, then I have to collect all the salvage, all the broken parts of the car, go back to the original policy issuing office, and then each part of the salvage or the broken parts would be tallied on the claim file. Then I'd get a receipt that I've submitted all the broken parts, and then after waiting for about 10-15 days, if I was lucky, I would get my claim check. You're surprised when you hear this, but that is how we settled claims in India about 14 years back. And then because of good customer feedback and listening to customers what they wanted, I think it transformed. Bajaj Allianz was one of the leading companies which took this transformational aspect of how claims has to be handled, and was among the first to issue cashless claim settlement for our automobile customers, and also for issuance of on the point of sale policy which took place. There are 60 million automobile customers in India for the insurance companies. There are a lot of questions and queries which are there. When I interact with customers, even things which I understand is simple, but I realize that they still find the process very complicated. They still want to understand as to why some gets paid, some does not get paid when we have paid the full premium for an automobile insurance, why a third party claim has to be handled differently, what can be done to make it better. We at Bajaj Allianz believe that we should impart whatever knowledge we have, get the best experts for you, so that we can answer your questions and queries, also learn from you how do we take customer service to the next level. Before I start, when I mentioned to you as a company we did start the first cashless, I would like to introduce to you my head for motor in Bajaj Allianz, Mr. Vijay Kumar, the man who was instrumental in changing the way industry looked at claims. Welcome Vijayji to the first Google Hangout on demystifying motor. He is the main expert for today, and as I promised you in my previous Hangout that I'll start getting experts of the subject who will be answering your queries. We have Mr. Vijay Kumar. He is the person who started the first cashless settlement in India. He is the one who negotiated with manufacturers to make cars more safer, to look at anti-theft devices, and he set benchmarks to the industry. Welcome Vijayji to the show. I'm looking forward for some interesting questions for him as we progress further. Good afternoon. The next person whom I like you to meet is Mr. Yogesh Bag, a very old friend of ours, Yogesh, who is also the assistant RTO of Pune. You would be happily surprised to know that his obsession and passion is how does he ensure safer roads in terms of safer driving and road safety in and around here. Also, how do you look at defensive driving? He has been instrumental in a lot of things which has happened in the RTU in this respect, and he's also authored books. And if you go through that on the learning part of driving, or how do you do defensive driving, the book's name, if I may say, is Learner's Manual, and the other one is Aap Ani Aapan. So these are books he has authored. I want to welcome Yogesh to the Google Hangout. Welcome, Yogesh.
Thanks.
Then we have Avinash, a very personal friend, and we have had very long interactions with him. Avinash is the Deputy CEO for ALD Automotive India, a part of Society General, the leading in terms of the global space for financing and management of vehicle fleets. The beauty of Avinash was that though in his earlier avatar he was part of Maruti Suzuki in terms of dealer development and customer service, he has set up this company from a single person to over 9,000 vehicles now and over 650 customer where he provides solutions for fleet and fleet management, which is there. Brings in a lot of in-depth understanding and knowledge about automobile, about insurance, about how to look at customer service. It's such a pleasure to have you here, Avinash. Welcome to the Google Hangout.
Yeah, thank you.
The next person I'd like you to meet is, I think, the person which you would all like to ask a lot of questions. It is Mr. Sanjay Gaikwad. He is the chairman for Pune Lawyers Consumer Cooperative Society Limited, and he is also the secretary for Pune Bar Association. The interesting part, and which I really like about him, was he was a physics graduate. Why I like that was because I've also studied physics. He moved on to become a lawyer, and I moved on to become an insurance company, and today we are again on the same platform. He has been handling motor accident criminal tribunals for over 23 years now. He's also handled civil suits. He has been into this understanding of third-party claims, third-party laws, regulations, and one of the leading lawyers in the country. It's a pleasure to have you here, Sanjay, to this show. Welcome to the Google Hangout on Demystifying Motor. Moving on, I have another very close personal friend of mine, Ms. Shivani Shinde. She is the Chief of Bureau for Business Standard, a leading journalist of India. She has been covering automotive, financial sectors, real estate, and her opinion is respected across the lines of business. In fact, when an article comes in, I am also one of the avid readers in understanding her point of view as to what's happening. She has been in different publications earlier. She was part of Times of India. She has been part of Deccan. She has been part of Asian Age. And now she is heading the Pune division for Business Standard. It's such a pleasure to have you, Ms. Shivani, on the show. Welcome. So we move on now to our session, to our customers, and to those of you who have any issues on motor. And we hope from Bajaj Allianz to make it a small success in terms of if we can help solve your queries, learn from you how to make our own process more simple for the customers, or as an industry, do we do some changes which makes your life easier or makes you understand the automotive business from an insurance company perspective in a different form. First question which I would like to take is from Shravan in Pune. He mentioned that it would be a good idea for the RTO and an insurance company like yours to work together on road safety programs. Any plans on this? Thank you, Shravan, for the question, because I just mentioned I have the assistant RTO whose passion is road safety. So I would like Mr. Yogesh Bhatt to give his opinion first, and then I'll tell you what at Bajaj Allianz we have been doing on road safety. Mr. Yogesh Bhatt, your view on this question.
It's a good question from Mr. Pawan. Actually, as a part of product stewardship, the insurance companies also will be in turn benefited if the people drive defensively, and if there are lesser accidents, they will have to settle lesser claims. And that's why we should inculcate good habits, driving habits. We should inculcate good habits, driving habits in the drivers.
Thank you, Mr. Yogesh.
Drivers.
Yeah. If I look at this issue from an insurance company perspective, our passion though is if something goes wrong, we pay claims, and we should pay very effectively, and we should pay good to customer satisfaction. But honestly, there is an old joke which I always mention, that when you insure, if the insurance company pays for you more than anybody else, because we want you to be safe, we want you to be secure. We don't want that you end up having a mishap or an accident. On the road safety, Bajaj Allianz has been a pioneer in this field. I think from Allianz, though we have been one of the sponsors for Formula 1, but if you actually watch, we sponsor the safety car there, and our message on safety driving, I think last time when we had Michael Schumacher, Nico Rosberg. Nico spoke a lot on driving safety. He in fact mentioned that even though there's not one driver, but the amount of time and money which is spent on ensuring that the drive is safe is immense. And on the road, he mentioned that he would not want any kind of recklessness happening because there the tracks are different. I've also been having motor claims, and at times when I look at the claims, it's very, very sad. It's not only because of our fault, it is because of recklessness of somebody else, then an accident happens which gets fatal at times. So we have been coordinating with different RTOs, different police division. In fact, the last that we did was with Delhi Police, where we ensure that we propagate the drive safely. And if you watch, even the assistant RTO is very close to us, is the one who has been pushing this drive safety aspect. So thank you, Shravan, for your question. Close to our heart. We shall work more on this and we'll take it to the next level. Sneha Adnani from Pune, she mentioned that can there be a huge difference between workshop report and insurance company surveys report? If yes, what should be approached to get the best? Which report should we take into consideration? Mr. Vijay Kumar, would you like to take this question?
Yeah. I think it's a good question from Sneha. Often it happens that the surveyors calculate liability of the insurance companies and for X amount, and the garage raises a bill on the Y for the Y amount. Ideally, there should not be any difference except that there are certain cost which has to be borne by the insured on account of depreciation and deductible, compulsory deductible, which is as per the policy terms and conditions. We need to be careful as what exactly the work has been carried out in the car. There could be, is there any additional work carried out in the car? Of course, the garage ideally should carry out any additional work in consultation with the owner of the car. And if that transparency is there from the garage side and from the surveyor side, I'm sure this kind of ambiguity should not happen. As far as the insurance liability is concerned, whatever surveyors decide ideally is as per the terms and conditions of the policies, and that should cover the the liability part. Now it is for the customer actually or the insured to look at what are the additional parts which have been built by the garage and whether these are actually part of the accident or it relate to certain other jobs, could be like service or maybe some additional accessories, etc.
Thank you, Vijay. I think there's one question which I see on the screen, which has come in from Anisha Luke Nagpur. A customer mobile application could be provided to the customers who buy motor insurance, through which they could take real-time photographs of their accidental vehicles. To avoid fraud while clicking the pictures, a time date stamp would automatically get updated in the picture. Thank you, Anisha, for this question. It's again very, very close to my heart. You'll be happy to note that at Bajaj Allianz, we are again one of the pioneers. Earlier, we said that we were one of the first to take policy issuance to the point of sale. Now we are taking policy issuance and claim settlement to the customer's doorstep. I think we have made a tab application where policy issuance can happen right at your doorstep, and also the claim happens, photographs can be uploaded and claim can be settled at your doorstep. So we have already reached to that stage. And when I see your query, it's more that the customer should be able to do that on his or her own. My promise to you is give us a couple of months more. I really believe that customers are honest and the chances of fraud is very, very low, because I believe, and that is one challenge which I have given to the industry also. When we look at the insurance industry, it's very funny in its own way. When a customer comes into the insurance industry, nobody is bothered about who is coming in. There's no KYC requirement. When a claim happens, the insurance industry thinks that it's a thug. No, that is how they start. And then we talk about customer service. It's completely illogical. It is not the way we should look at customer service. And this is where, when you mentioned that the customer should be able to upload and claim should be settled, I am fully for this, and we shall make a difference to the industry in the way we look at customers. Thank you for this point. We shall definitely do this, Anisha. There's another question which I see coming from Karthik from Mumbai. He feels that periodic car servicing should be incorporated in the insurance policy. If not, at least discount should be offered for regular car servicing at the garages having a tie-up with Bajaj Allianz. And the more interesting one is from Meera Siva, Chennai, where she says, tell me ways to reduce premium. It's good. Your view on this, Mr. Vijay Kumar, before I put in my comments?
Coming to the first question from Karthik, this maintenance of the car ideally is a prerogative of the insured or the owner of the vehicle. Insurance companies actually are liable for covering the risk. Servicing is a routine maintenance activity which is quite evident. It is not really a risk actually. So paying any kind of discount or covering that under insurance ideally doesn't fit into the the insurance services. Actually, it is a routine maintenance activity which has to be borne by the customer. If at all somewhere it has to be done, obviously the cost will go for 100% such cases in the insurance premium, where the insurance premium will go up. It could be in the form of bundling, etc. So it amounts to the same thing. The customer ultimately will have to pay for that. So it is good that the maintenance is kept separate and insurance is kept separate, so that the premium doesn't increase beyond a certain limit.
To answer you, Meera, in terms of how do we reduce the cost of premium, just small simple tips to do that. Next time when you're insuring your car, given your profile, tell the insurer in terms of the usage of the car, where do you drive, and tell them about who normally drives your car, how do you park your car, and even the color of your car. You'll be surprised to know that when you give these information, the premium actually comes down. The problem in India is that it is still the rating is done more on the automobile make and model and less on the customer, the way they look at usage of car and how they handle it. So try this. If it does not work, let me know, Meera. I'll be happy to give you discounts for the profiling of the customer and the usage of car. That is how you can negotiate with insurance company for a better rate. Insurance companies also look for good good customers in terms of the ones who drive more safely or have a clear history of taking the care of their car. In fact, at Bajaj Allianz for women customers, we are also providing an additional benefit of 24/7 free of charge, which actually means that it is beyond just claims. If your car has a puncture or it runs out of fuel or it's stuck on the road, you can call up a number and there'll be experts who will come within about half an hour or so and ensure that your car's battery is changed if it is conked out, or the tire puncture if the tire is changed, and you don't have to get out of the car and feel insecure. We do this for you, Meera, and this is how you can actually look at negotiating for your.
Can I add to what please. You just to mention? In addition to giving the information and getting the best premium, there could be another solution to it. If you are a confident customer, your driving is excellent, I think, and you are sure that most probably the claim is not going to happen, then the best way is to opt for a higher deductible. What I mean by deductible is, at the time of claim, certain some amount which is already agreed upon at the time of issuance of policy is deducted at the time of claim, and in lieu of that, the premium is reduced substantially. So these kind of options are available on certain companies' website. You can explore that.
Thank you, Vijayji. And even at Bajaj Allianz website, you have this high deductible option. Do take that, Meera. I would love to have you as a customer. One question for my friend Sanjay, which has come in from the third-party part. Kalyan Mitra from Calcutta. He mentions that under motor insurance policy, what is the ceiling on third-party claims in case of an accident? Where and how is this defined in case of a particular policy? Mr. Sanjay, would you like to take this question? Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. I think that was very useful.
Well, there was very interesting question on
Yes.
Somebody from Pune has written. He has heard about knock-to-knock agreement. What exactly it means?
Sure.
I think
that's a good question.
this is a very I think important terminology which may be relevant in the going forward in the near future. Unlike in many other countries, in India, all the own damage section has to be covered by the respective insurance companies. If two vehicles meets an accident, both the vehicle, the repair cost will be covered by the respective companies. This doesn't happen in many other countries where knock-to-knock agreement is not there. In India, this thing happens because there is a knock-to-knock agreement. All insurance companies have signed an agreement which says that the own damage repair of the vehicle will be considered, will be paid by the respective insurance companies, and they will not claim from each other. In other countries, particularly in the Western countries and even in America, it is decided on the spot by either police or the representative of the insurance companies as to who is going to who is at fault, and if the defaulting vehicle is identified, all the liabilities of the damaged vehicle, the third-party damaged vehicle, are put on the defaulting vehicle. So there little bit hassles are more because the vehicle has to be examined on the spot, and the police involvement also to some extent is there. So it is a bit of a tedious process, and fortunately in India that is not there. It is to make a claim, and these kind of hassles are not there.
Thank you, Vijay, because this knock for knock is something which I think is a very relevant query, and it varies in India compared to others. But as you said, is good. There was some suggestion earlier to relook into knock for knock, but I think as a company we took a stand, it's good for customers, and we should continue with the knock for knock agreement. I'd like to go to Shivani and ask for her views about what she feels about the insurance industry and what we can do better, and customer expectation, and any comments from her side that she would have, or any question that she would have for us here.
Right. Hi. I have a question here. You spoke about how your premium can get impacted if you keep certain things in mind. Now, I come from a city like Pune, and here you're talking about where you park your car. Mr. Bhatt can also participate here. If I am not mistaken, how you park your car also impacts your insurance premium. In a city like Pune, where infrastructure is really bad, is the insurance company and the RTO, are they working on certain parameters which will help the user to decrease their premiums? Because frankly, there is no parking space. A lot of parking happens in open area. You do not have dedicated parking. So would the RTO and the insurance company like to work on a mechanism, or it's difficult?
Interesting, Shivani. That's why I say you are one of the leading journalists in India. You ask very tough questions. I'll tell you first, how does a parking space affect the premium? And typically, where does it really have an impact? See, what happens is when you park the car outside in the night, when you don't park it within garage, the log gates, chances of theft is very high. And that is where, if the parking is not secure, and especially it's for the night when you are retiring for the night, it makes a difference to the premium and the issue which is there. From a parking space perspective, I think it's a big issue in all cities, not only in Pune. I think wherever I go, the amount of vehicles which got sold in India in the past 6-7 years has been phenomenal, and that is why we see most of the manufacturers setting up plants, and they're very excited about the Indian market and condition. But the drawback or fallback on that has been the infrastructure could not cope with it, which is a fact. which we accept and we admit. And I'm very sure the government will be looking into this and talking about it. I'm not sure how Mr. Yogesh Bagh would like to respond to this, but I'd give him and ask him this question. What's his thought on this?
Good question from Shivani. There are a lot of debates going on even in the assembly and parliament that the vehicle ownership should be restricted, one vehicle, one family, or without determining that the owner really have his own parking place, he should not be allowed, the registration of the vehicle should not be allowed. There are debates going on. The court has also asked to examine the issue. Only I think Sikkim government has passed the rule in their state that without confirmation of the parking place you cannot register the vehicle, that he has to. But again, somebody will produce some fake documents and will establish that he has his parking place or he has hired some parking place, and also he may get through it. And there will be so many problems. There are some ideas that the municipalities or corporations should make it mandatory that without confirming at least 3 times of the flat ownership, parking place should be there. They should not allow the commencement certificate or completion certificate to any builder. So these are the issues where many government agencies are involved, and everyone should think on it, considering the number of registration what we are receiving every day. In Pune, we are receiving almost 400 registration per day, only in Pune, apart from Pimpri-Chinchwad. So almost one series if we start, it's finished within 20 days. That is 10,000 vehicle almost on road within 20 days. So road length is same, road infrastructure is same, people want to park their vehicle on the road, and already the road space is limited and it is again encroached by the parking of the vehicles. So then there is a bottleneck, traffic jamming, and again then it will be a vicious circle. So because of traffic jam there will be more pollution, more consumption of fuel, more chances of accidents. So definitely this parking place issue is very important, and sometime we'll have to address it. There may be one solution which government may think on it. There is a provision in section 59 of limiting the age of the vehicle. Sometime we may think of it and put some restriction on the age of the vehicle. Of course, this is my personal view, not as an assistant RTO.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, this is Saraswati here from Business Standard Bombay office.
Welcome, Saraswati. Please let us know. Good to see you. Ask me.
Adding to what the customer has asked about reducing the premiums, and where you talked about the usage of the car and the color of the car and those things. Telematics as a concept is being proposed in India, wherein you could install devices in cars which could map the behavior of the driver and the riding pattern. So, to what extent has it been implemented?
Okay. Good question, Saraswati. In fact, I have a question on similar lines from Sandhya from Delhi. She has mentioned, are there any benefits given the car policy to owners who have GPS installed? Sandhya, is the telematics which has been just referred to. The benefit is there. The issue which is coming in fact, Allianz is one of the leading solution provider for telematics in Europe. And if I look at Italy and other locations, Mr. Vijay Kumar can add to that. We have intense penetration for telematics, and it saves the premium considerably for the car owners. Definitely, because it gives the usage pattern, it gives the taking the speed limit, the driving pattern, which does lead to, and also pay for usage which comes in. The problem is that the cost of telematics, if I look at it, and the Indian premium for car, the benefit on visa with the premium is not immediately seen, unlike the Western market where the premium for the car is much more expensive than it is in India. In fact, the cost of telematics may be equivalent to the premium of the car for 1 year. But if you ask for my recommendation, I still recommend that telematics should be used. It also enhances a lot of safety features for the user, and it does lead to premium savings. It's a very good question. On the commercial vehicle space, it has started coming in, but the private car space not yet moved substantially. Would you like to make some comment on this?
Yeah, in addition to what you mentioned, there is another aspect to it that the acceptance from the user. In traditionally, looking at the crime track record, or the issues involved, I think the customers are generally, or insured is generally reluctant to have anything like this, with which the vehicle can be tracked. So from safety and other apprehensions also, I think it is a little bit of premature, but I guess this is the future, and if it has been very successful in the other markets, and India also, it is going to be there,
Soon.
going forward.
Yeah, and Saraswati, our commitment to you, when it comes in, will actually ensure that you have the first telematic installed in your car from Bajaj Allianz, and you be our customer, so we can service you and you can first-hand experience the telematic experience. As I mentioned, that we are still looking at it, and maybe come with it soon when we feel the customer is ready to accept this. Coming to Avinash, you have been quiet for quite some time now. So your thought in terms of insurance, any question that you have as a customer of the largest fleet owner or manager, and the kind of presence you have across the globe, I think you have a lot of expertise on this. Any questions or any opinion from you?
Maybe Tapan, I'll relate to Avinash one question which has been put there.
Yeah.
That whether after de-tariffing the customers and insurance companies, they have benefited. I think start with the response from Avinash, because he is the
customer,
big customers.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Whether in terms of claim servicing or whether in terms of the premiums, pricing, is there any benefit that we see after de-tariffing?
Yes, Avinash, I think this is a very relevant question for you.
Yeah, it's a very trick question, definitely. Yeah, in terms of de-tariffing, ultimately the whole pricing mechanism works around the claim ratios as well. And the good customers definitely will get the benefit of a lower premium going forward. And the not so good customers, or the vehicles where you are having a higher incidence of claim ratios, you will see those customers paying a little more premium than what they were doing earlier. So in terms of the overall strategy of basically, or the overall benefit of getting the de-tariffing, obviously the price adjustment is also there to the large extent of people have to pay for what they are utilizing ultimately. That's where we are heading on to. So while we have this discussion earlier on parking of the vehicle on a good profile of a customer is looking for a reduced premium. On the other hand, if people who are actually having a bad history of claims will ultimately land up paying a higher premium. Yeah, so that's something which will definitely be there. So what we have seen is, obviously in our fleet of vehicles, there has been some adjustments which we have also been able to price it to our customers accordingly, and we have naturally given and passed on that benefit to our customers.
Thank you, Avinash. I think that was very useful. But from your side, do you have any query or expectation of insurance companies as to what they should look at going forward, or some suggestions that you have based on your global expertise, which would be there? We're very happy to listen to you and try and see if we can incorporate that going forward.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I mean, globally speaking, there are lots of things that are still to happen in India as compared to what happens, say, in Europe. However, I'd just like to take one point which in the previous question that came up about telematics. Just wanted to add one thing is there in Europe when telematics was introduced. We did that in the UK very aggressively, and what we did see was that the number of theft incidents reduced drastically. Taking that cue, we also introduced telematics in our fleet in India, and our thefts for those vehicles, I mean, the number of incidents haven't come down, I have to be honest, but if there is a theft, we are able to retrieve the car. Right? So ultimately, it doesn't land on the table of Bajaj Allianz to settle the claim, but we are able to secure a release of the vehicle. But that has brought into another set of challenges for us. I think is how easy or difficult will that be for a consumer to then follow the process of law to get the vehicle back, right, from say the police station or from the courts or whatever. So so we while the claim has stopped with the insurance company, it has opened another direction of a challenge to be able to go through the process of law and the RTO and whatever else that is required to secure the vehicle back. And sometimes it has got so challenging that the cost of securing the vehicle back is higher than the cost of vehicle itself, right? So these are the questions that are now coming up as well. So from the insurance industry to the expectation, of course, is there, but then there is also a parallel mechanism, the process of the RTO rules, for instance, the Motor Vehicles Act, for instance, the process of law. All those things also will need to be looked at to make the overall experience a bit easier for consumers going forward.
Oh, thank
So
you,
my
Anand.
question-
That's yeah, sorry, you're saying something.
Yeah. So my also, I would like to open this thing not only for the insurance company but also for Mr. Gaikwad as well as Mr. Bag.
Thank you, Raj. I think you opened up.
Thank you, Raj. I think you opened up
a lot of questions. But I have to thank again Shivani and the team for starting this discussion. Looks like telematics is very close now. I think we are going to. The requirement is coming in, and you have mentioned the benefits of it. So we start with Mr. Bag in terms of the ease for recovery of vehicle. Is the RTO looking at it, or what is the thought?
Till now, there is no such provision in the Motor Vehicle Act that such gadgets are made mandatory in the vehicle. But sometime in future, there may be some amendments in the Motor Vehicle Act or rules to make these gadgets compulsory.
Sanjay, you were saying something. I'm sorry. Yeah, please. Thank you, Sanjay, for your view. I move on to another good question, and this obviously because Pranay from Mumbai has mentioned something about a company. I thought I'll read it out. Pranay says that motor insurance in India is often seen as an expense resulting from regulatory requirements. Opportunity for top general insurance is to play up the caring, non-accidental benefits which accompany a motor insurance policy. For instance, Bajaj Allianz offers an amazing feature called lock and key replacement. I'm sure the awareness of this benefit is limited and therefore is not a consideration factor while buying motor insurance. There are several other such benefits in the motor insurance domain. Your views, please. Pranay, I think of late, as an insurance professional, I have been thinking that in terms of an insurance company, we predominantly do two things, issue policies and settle claims. And yes, as a company, we have set quite a few benchmarks, and the analysts rate us as one of the best companies in the Indian market. But that does not satisfy us. We have to go to the space where you have mentioned, take relationship beyond insurance in terms of claims. We have to provide that care factor. And that is where we came out with 24/7, which is not about accidents, it's about something going wrong in the vehicle, which adds stress to you. We are providing solutions and looking at more solutions going forward. And most of the players in the industry are now looking at this, and they're also providing such solutions. Now, coming to your first question about it being mandatory, and that is why people take insurance, I have a different view on that. And just let me spend a couple of minutes, because again, there's something which I very passionately talk about. Insurance is something which you should have, not because of it being mandatory. It is because of the protection that it offers. Let me give you a small example. You have this home insurance, which the premium for that would come around for an average home about 4,000 to 5,000 rupees in a year. Now, if I look at the home, the kind of risk that would be covered would be right from the building itself, which may be about 50 to 70 lakh rupees, and the contents, which would be then the house. For an average middle class person to build all this, it takes about 10 to 12 years. And to cover that in a year, you have to pay just 5,000 rupees or so. Now, it is not about any mandatory requirement there. So the penetration of home insurance is just 2%. But every second day I hear about incidents about chain snatching, about some incidents which destroys homes completely, the efforts of 10, 20 years of hard labor gone, but we are not insured. And somewhere in the industry we have failed to create that awareness that insurance has to happen for the risk protection, which is itself very, very valuable. And obviously nothing should go wrong. But if it does, then you not put off about 10, 12 years of hard labor. No? Similarly for health, the penetration of health insurance of people who can afford is just about 8 to 10%. But you go to a hospital for any illness, it can cost you lakhs and lakhs of rupees. People, if you go to a hospital billing center, you watch people selling jewelries, selling land to pay off the bills. It's very sad. I think that is something which I have been passionately talking about. This awareness has to be there. People have to take insurance for protection cover, and God forbid something goes wrong. But if it does, there should be adequate protection. In fact, if I look at Uttarakhand, when floods happened there and earthquake happened there, the amount of homes which are actually covered was negligible. No, most of the loss which happened was uninsured. And what got covered was because people had taken insurance for mandatory requirements, as you mentioned. Vijay, you want to speak something on this, or have I covered it all?
It was mentioned that insurance is generally considered as a expense. If we really look at anybody, it could be anybody, you, me, or anybody who's moving on the road, and suddenly something happens and some vehicle hits. What is the fault of that person? And the kind of suffering the third person which is hit is going to undergo, I think, could be huge, which even generally people will not imagine. So I think it is even a responsibility of not only that because of regulation it is required. I think it is each citizen's responsibility to make sure that everybody is well protected who is walking on the road, or who is traveling in a vehicle. So I think from that perspective also it is very, very important.
Good. I have a question from Priya. It's from Pune. She mentions that more awareness should be inculcated towards officials to consider motor insurance policy soft copy as a legal binding document, and should be duly acknowledged by the officials. It becomes cumbersome to keep the hard copy of the policy document handy at all times. Here, Mr. Yogesh Bhag, I think you're the most popular person around here. All the questions are directed towards you and expectations. So, any thought on allowing soft copy to become acceptable to the police on the road?
It's a policy decision, so I can't opine exactly at this moment, but definitely it must be a welcome question, and we must think on it, that instead of carrying all those hard copies with them, and it is cumbersome to carry all these, but as it is in the section 130 of the Motor Vehicle Act, if the documents are not there at the time of checking with you, you can produce the same within 15 days. So even though the act says that it is mandatory to carry all the documents with you, but by chance if you don't have it, you have chance to produce them before that authority within 15 days. So that can be, that's still always there. But as she said, if the plane tickets are accepted on mobiles, and anything accepted on through internet and all these things, why this document scanning, and one can keep it stored in his mobile, and he can show to the authority that he is having valid documents. This all will be possible provided all RTO offices and police departments are connected to a server, and they have all these data ready with them on their cell phones, so they can immediately verify. Even in now Tamil Nadu, they have started that even by just identifying a number of the vehicle, the inspector can check in his mobile whether all documents are valid or not. So he has got all the data uploaded on his Android. So the time is coming, we are definitely developing, and very soon we'll go to this stage.
Thank you, Mr. Yogesh. So, Priya, there is hope, and as you can rightly see that even RTOs at different places are looking at this going forward.
Sir, Saraswati here, I just had one clarification here. When there are insurance repositories that have come in and they're looking at e-issuance of policies, once motor insurance is also made a part of it, won't it be automatically digitized?
There are two things out here, Saraswati. If you look at even the insurance industry, what we have done is we have uploaded all documents and details of the motor policies to there. In fact, what they allow is that you can send an SMS to check whether the car number which you send, is it insured or not. So that is coming now. The DMAT thing is happening. And as Mr. Bag mentioned, I think Tamil Nadu, they have started looking at it. So it's building up towards that, and as you rightly said, it has to move towards this, the question of time. And these questions are coming in. In fact, I was discussing with Mr. Yogesh a couple of days back on the same issue, and he's also taken cognizance of it. But as he mentioned, it's a policy decision which he has to talk to the team and ensure how does it get implemented in a foolproof manner. So with all this building up, the database getting built up, the police looking at it, the DMAT format of policy happening, this is not very far. So I do take your point, Saraswati, and thank you for raising it. I'd like to again go back to Mr. Sanjay, because third party is something which a lot of people have a lot of query on. And what do you think if a third party happens? How should an insured look at it, and what are the precautions he or she should take, and how going forward they should handle this situation? I think that's a query which a lot of people will be having. I see a lot of questions coming in that. Sanjay,
yeah, I have not understood your question. Can you please repeat the question again?
Okay, the question is, let's say if I'm a consumer, I'm driving a car, and I meet with an accident, and a third party gets injured because of that. Now I will panic, and then what are the things that I should do? From a perspective of a good citizen, of a good customer, and what are the precautions I should take, and what are the provisional law, and what can go wrong with me? So those are the queries come into mind immediately. Should I panic? Should I run away? Should I talk to the police? And how will it be handled? So from a lawyer's perspective, I want you to talk about this, because it's something which I think most of us will be having at the back of mind.
Sir, this is a very good question raised. See, an accident is an untoward incident. It is not planned. There is no mens rea. So when any mishap takes place, any consumer or the insured, it is his duty to first take that particular person. If there is injured is there, or if there is a death, he should, if the person is injured, he should first take him to the nearest hospital and give him first aid treatment. That is first what he should do. And after having done that, giving first aid treatment, it is his duty to intimate the police and police authorities and to help in the investigation. So he should intimate, he should not run away from the spot. That is what he should take. Secondly, when the police machinery ask him regarding the documents, he should tender all the vehicular documents, including his license, including the policy and other related documents like permit, fitness and other documents. In any case, he should not run away from the spot, because the accident, it is a bailable offence. As far as criminal, there are two liabilities will be coming in. As far as criminal liability is concerned, the person can be charged for rash and negligent driving and or for causing the death. But that is a bailable offence, and immediately you can get bail either in the police station or immediately when you are produced before any court, that is judicial magistrate first class. The person who is on the wheels can immediately get a bail unless and until he is charged for murder or otherwise. That is as far as criminal liability concerned. But as far as civil liability is concerned, then he should first, it is first duty to take hospitalized. He need not make the payment to the hospital. It is we should understand it that it is a medical legal case. When there is any accident happens on a road, it is a medical legal case, and it is a duty of every insured or every driver to intimate that said fact to the police authorities and help in the investigation of that particular thing. Then secondly, if there is damage to his vehicle or even otherwise, he should come forward and intimate the said fact to the insurance company and register the claim. Give an intimation regarding the claim, regarding the damage, regarding the injuries, and give the necessary documents to the insurance company by filling motor accident claim form. If his driver is died in the vehicle, then he should give the workman's compensation claim form and other documents he should intimate to the insurance company either on mail or by on phone or by writing, reducing it into writing. I hope this will clarify the doubts regarding after accident what is to be done.
Yeah,
And it's very valuable because typically, a person tends to panic when an accident happens, and that's not the right thing, because then we're not doing a duty as a citizen of the country or as a good human being towards somebody who has been injured. We're not taking him to the hospital because we are worried that what will happen. I think your answer clarifies a lot of these doubts. So thank you very much for this. I would like to.
Tapan,
yeah, please.
Yeah, Tapan, I had one point to add here. As an insurance industry, when a driver meets with an accident, he knows where to call for lodging a claim. Is there any way where you can set up a mechanism where you can also help that same user to seek some guidance on the legal aspect of it? Or if he needs to engage a lawyer, depending upon the severity of the event, he is directed to a set of people or a set of lawyers where he can seek guidance. Because today you have 18-year-olds driving, 25 years, ladies, children, all sort of people who are driving. While they know who to call as far as insurance company is concerned, they really don't know who to call and seek any kind of legal guidance.
Thank you, Avinash. I think that's a very valid point. In fact, we have allowed in our add-on cover a 5-minute interaction after the accident with the medical and the legal experts. We are connecting them because we feel at times people panic. But somewhere I think we have failed in trying to advertise or talk about it well. Vijayji, any opinion that you would like to mention here?
Yeah, this facility actually is built in the roadside assistance cover that we offer, and by virtue of Bajaj Allianz having a team of doctors and lawyers within the company, so it is possible for us to offer that assistance as and when needed.
And thank you, Avinash, for raising this, because I think, as I mentioned, somewhere the awareness has to be made more and we have to speak about it more, because this is an issue which I feel with some of my customers who have this claim, they say we panicked, Tapan, and it was a very fearful experience, and in that sometimes we miss our duty or fulfillment. I'll take one last question maybe from Shivani, and then as we are closing towards the end of it, I'd like to thank Shivani. Any question that you have?
Yes, actually, since a lot of my friends knew that I was on this Google Hangout and it covered motor insurance, they had questions.
Yes.
One of the questions was, why do companies have something called zero depreciation and complete care and then include a clause that says only 2 claims per year? They say this is not fair for those who have been really regular paying in premiums, have had no accident, etc. They're asking, can insurance companies look at something where there is no limit on claims for the whole year and give zero depreciation too? Is this something that the insurance companies can look at?
Yeah, Shivani, I don't think it's an issue. It's an issue of pricing only. So for a certain price, this can be looked into comfortably, and if that is going to bring mental peace to my customers, I don't think any reason why we cannot look into it. Vijayji, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is similar question to the first question that we talked about, where somebody asked for inclusion of service of the vehicle in the insurance policy. So it's all about to the pricing. Whatever risk has to be widened, is possible to do that, provided that kind of price also is insurance pricing is paid. So I think we have to have a fair. Not all the customers make 2 claims. There are few customers who make two claims, we need to look at it whether that really impact. And I think as Tapan has mentioned, we can reevaluate this particular issue as to what extent this has impact. But when I think the insurance companies have decided this, they must have gone with certain data or certain available information and decided based on that. And definitely with this clause, there is some price benefit also there.
But Shivani, since you mentioned this is an issue, I think we'll look into it again. Though our statistics shows that more than, I think we have very, very few customers who have more than 2 claims, but it's an issue of mental comfort. We'll definitely look into it and try to see if we can make a product on the lines which provides comfort to the customers.
I want to add one more thing.
Saraswati has a question.
Shivani's.
Yeah, Mr. Bag, he wants to respond to you, Shivani, and then we go to.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, even I want to respond to Shivani's.
Yeah.
I have one question. Can IRD and all the companies can look into the matter of having less premium for the auto rickshaw people? They are the poor people.
Yeah.
They have lesser engine capacity. They are moving in cities, covering lesser areas and at very slow speed. So they have tendency of very low amount of accidents. So can it be thought of a separate premium and very low premium, third-party premium for them? Because I have seen that many of the auto rickshaws don't come for the fitness renewal because they can't go for the insurance premium. That is too heavy for them. They are not coming for permit renewal, fitness renewal only because insurance premium is more.
Mr. Yogesh, I'm happy to know that our regulator, IRD, in fact, the TP hike proposed for this year has a reduction in premium for three-wheelers. So they're looking at reducing the premium. So I think somewhere before you put it here, your thought was read by the IRDA and they are actually looking at it. So going forward, they've accepted the fact that the third-party claims and three-wheelers are low and the premium has to be reduced. So that has been proposed now, and let us see if it gets converted to a policy by 1st of April. But this discussion is on and it has been proposed. Yes, Shivani, you're saying something?
Yeah, so Saraswati this side, when Mr. Vijay Kumar was mentioning about, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, Saraswati, please.
Yeah, so when Mr. Vijay Kumar was mentioning about a query on the car services discount, and he was saying that this is a routine maintenance activity, just a clarification, in a lot of high-end bikes as well as cars, maintenance is very important, imperative to the car functioning well. So in these segments in particular, would there be any thought on maybe launching an add-on cover or a assistance service wherein maybe car servicing and those things are part and parcel of the policy?
Yeah, as I mentioned, insurance company is there to cover the risk, and the maintenance, periodic maintenance, which has to happen every 5,000 kilometers or 10,000 kilometers, depending on the manufacturers, is a very routine and evident expense, and it is not really the risk. So, for if somebody can think about that, adding in the policy as an add-on or but the question is, it is the same money whether you pay directly to the customer or pay through the insurance company. It amounts to the same thing. I think customer is not really going to benefit actually. The benefit will happen where there is a risk, and then the insurance companies can decide the price and accordingly price the product. The risk related, I think, is a area or scope for the insurance company. But where the risk is not there, it is a routine nature of maintenance. I think it is a more manufacturers or the dealer who can provide that service.
Taking Saraswati's thought for we can also look at if somebody has been good in terms of maintaining his or her vehicle, attending periodic things, do we give them benefit of renewals? So let's look at this thought. I think this has come out from many sectors. So maybe this is a customer requirement. So we can
that's a good idea actually. If giving a benefit to the customer who has meticulously maintained the vehicle, the vehicle condition is up to date. I think there it makes a sense for insurance company to look at that customer in a different manner.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. I think we have stressed our time, but it was such a pleasure interacting with all of you, and thank you all the lovely customers and for your queries and your interest. It helps us, and if you actually watch the entire interaction, it gets us a lot of ideas about be products or customer service. And since we had a very good panel which covers from the best of lawyer to an RTO who is passionate about safety, about one of the best journalists, two of the best journalists in India, about insurance, about somebody who runs the biggest fleet who will set it up. It has to a lot of interaction, good suggestions, and we shall from the company side take most of it. Quite a few different answers. I'm sorry for it. There are a huge number of queries, but I promise all my customers and those who wrote to us, I'll look into each of it personally and try and incorporate your idea and suggestion to the level best, which should make a difference in the industry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.